Koi fish are beautiful, but how much do you really know about them? Let's start off with some quick facts about koi. They can live up to 200 years old. They are a type of carp. They are cold water fish. They can be many different colors, including white, black, orange, yellow, red, blue, and even albino. Just like there are different shapes for their tails, koi fish can also come in different shapes. The first shape that we have to talk about is called a butterfly koi. This is a koi that has very broad and short fins. Next, we have to talk about the dragon scale koi. Dragon scale koi have very unique scales that are shaped like small diamonds. The next shape is called a ghost koi. Ghost koi are very unusual and are actually a cross between a koi and a goldfish. They have very thin, delicate-looking scales. After a ghost koi, we have a high fin koi. High fin koi have very tall and flowing fins. And finally, we have the hikari koi are one of the most beautiful koi that you can find and have very unique scales that almost look metallic. And they usually have a big, beautiful flowing tail. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the more interesting stuff. The koi's most recognizable feature is its colorful tail. There are actually 5 different shapes for the tail. First, there is the spatula tail, which has straight edges on both sides of the tail fin. This is one of the more common tails that you will see. The next tail shape is called a forked tail. A forked tail has 2 distinct points on the end of the tail fin. Not all koi have a forked tail, but it is one of the most classic looks of any koi fish. The next tail shape is called a crescent tail. As you can probably guess by the name, this tail has a curve to it so that the top of the tail is longer than the bottom of the tail. A rare tail that you will only see in certain breeds of koi is called a single tail. Single tail koi are actually quite valuable because they are so rare. This is when the fish's tail fin grows out of the center of its body. Finally, there is no greater honor for a koi fish than to have a double tail. That's right. Some koi can have 2 tails. However, it is very rare to find a koi with a double tail because they are so special. Double tail koi are usually sold for thousands of dollars. All right, now let's talk about the different colors of koi. We already mentioned a few different colors earlier in the video, but let's go over them again and learn a little bit more about each color. The first color that we have to talk about is white. If you want to have a white koi, then you need to be prepared for a lot of hard work. White's koi are actually not naturally whites. Instead, they are born with a gene that makes them unable to produce melanin, which is a pigment that determines most fish colors. In order to keep a white koi, you have to keep them in an environment without any other fish that could potentially pass on the melanin gene to your precious white koi. So if you want a white koi, be prepared to raise them alone. Black koi are one of the most common colors that you will find in ponds. They have a solid black color and in some cases almost black scales. It's important to note that koi can sometimes lose their color as they get older. Orange koi are also very common. They have a bright orange color with hints of red on their scales. They are often confused with red koi, but orange koi have a brighter color with more spots. Yellow koi are somewhat rare. They have a bright golden color and are often mistaken for orange koi. Red koi are one of the rarer colors and are often prized for their beauty. Blue koi are also somewhat rare and can be found in ponds throughout the world. They have a beautiful light blue color with hints of green. Finally, there is the albino koi. Albino koi are one of the rarest types of koi and have no pigmentation at all. This means that they have white scales and pink flesh. Finally, we are going to talk about the different shapes that koi fish can come in. There are hundreds of different breeds of koi fish, and we were only able to cover a small fraction of them in this video. Hopefully you learned something new and now know a little bit more about these amazing fish. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.